Hey friends, it's me, your autoimmune friend. Today I want to share something with you guys that kind of shifted things for me when I think about faith in my autoimmune disease. And I've been wanting to share this for a while and I haven't, but I'm gonna just go for it today, right? And we're gonna see what happens. Hopefully I can explain this in a way that makes sense outside of my head. I also feel like a little congested, so if I start like making weird noises or I sound weird, it's that. So one thing that like really shifted my experience or journey in navigating having an autoimmune disease was the story of the woman with the issue of blood. And there's so many things about her story. Every time I study it, I pick apart something new out of this story. But there's something special about her seeking God, like with the most minimalist expectation or the most minimalist action of seeking Him and having that transformation that she did. And I don't know about you, but if you watch The Chosen, the way that they depict these things, like when I read the Bible, it's definitely a movie in my head. So when I watch The Chosen and like I'm seeing them like add the personalities and different things, like no, it's not 100% like a Bible, like they're adding in things. But that episode was like, oh my goodness, like it even made me even more like, this woman and her faith is insane. So I'm gonna read this part in Mark, and then I'm gonna kind of break down like what stands out to me and how her faith has helped my faith. So it's Mark 5:24. So Jesus went with him. A large crowd followed and pressed around him. And a woman was there who had been subject to bleeding for 12 years. She had suffered a great deal under the care of many doctors and had spent all she had, yet instead of getting better, she grew worse. When she heard about Jesus, she came up behind him in the crowd and touched his cloak, because she thought, if I just touch his clothes, I will be healed. Immediately her bleeding stopped and she felt in her body that she was freed from her suffering. A few things I want to point out. For one, when you think about, like imagine like when you go to a concert and like there's people everywhere and you lose your friend and you like have to like really push your way through to like find them and get next to them. Like usually people are like holding like this when they're going through those crowds because it's like you can't be side by side to each other. So when they say that she pushed her way through the crowd, I think about that. And then also noting that like she actually wasn't even supposed to be like out and about during this time because you're considered unclean when you're like on your cycle or whatever. But what got me was if I just touch his clothes, I will be healed. Everyone else that's like sought him for healing was like, Master, can you come with me to do this? Or my friend can't walk, like bringing themselves to him, like not even like, oh, I just need of his arm, or like, but really bringing and drawing attention to their issue, and then having that encounter that heals them. Whereas she didn't even want the encounter; she just wanted like the glory, like the glory that he had and he possessed. She just wanted to be able to feel a piece of that, and knowing that the glory connected to him was going to heal her. And I thought about in reading this how when you're praying for healing or you think about healing as a believer, it's always like, God, I complete restoration and like praying for healing and all these things. And sometimes we get so caught up in like, God, I need you to heal me. I want you to heal me. I know that you can heal me, that we forget that seeking him for just healing or just restoration or just overcoming an obstacle, that new job, healing your family, bringing you the person that you want to be with, or giving you money, or all of these things diminishes all that he is and he has. Like when you just seek his glory, the things will come. Like the things aren't the glory, he's the glory. And in seeing how her faith was so powerful, that like that little smidget of a claw, like that little touch, like just little like a brush of that, and she was healed. And it made me think, like, am I seeking him for healing, or am I like just seeking him in general? Like I want to constantly be seeking him. I want to be pushing closer to him. I want to be pushing to be nearer to him, not because I want something, but because I want to be connected to the glory that he is. And I found myself doing that more, not just going for the sake of being healing. And yes, she said, if I touch his clothes, I will be healed. So I'm not saying that she didn't go in with anticipation of healing, but she went in with anticipation, but also like, I don't need his attention. I don't need him to validate this sickness. I don't need him to make a scene about it. I just need to be near, like I just need to touch for that. And if the prayers are like explaining to him the suffering as though he doesn't already know and he doesn't already feel that suffering that you're experiencing, then is it just about that, or is it like about that connection? I don't know if this makes any sense. I'm not a preacher, but I don't know if this makes any sense. But that like really got me. Like it really, really made me think about, what am I seeking him for? Like even if I seek the most minimalist part of God, like that would be enough. Like that would be enough for everything that I need and everything I don't even know that I need. And that really shifted things for me. So like I stopped being like, oh, I want to be healed and I want da. Like, yes, it would be great. Yes, it would be beautiful. But I want to constantly be reaching for the hem of his cloth. I want to be reaching from at the lowest point possible, so that the me being unworthy can get like the littlest, tiniest glimpse of the glory connected to him, and that being enough to restore what he knows needs to be restored, that in turn heals the things that I didn't like. So in doing that, like I found myself finding peace. Like I am so much more comfortable with this than I have been before. Where I was like, but now I'm like, no, like this is restoration in itself. Like every follicle has not grown back, every strand has not grown back, but I still feel restored in a way that I wasn't feeling before. And I didn't even know that this restoration is what I was looking for. So she really did something with that. Like her faith, and he goes on to tell her, daughter, your faith has healed you. Go in peace and be free from your suffering. Like in seeking Jesus, I want my faith to be called beautiful. Like, he says it somewhere. It's in a different one where he says like her faith is beautiful. Like I want my faith to be beautiful to him. I want it to be endearing to him. I want it to be worthy of all that he's done. And we think about faith. Faith is the substance of things hoped for. So my hope and my faith are connected. So in putting those two together, like I'm hoping to be worthy of restoration, or I'm hoping to be worthy of what he has. And I'll never be worthy. I'll always fall short of the glory of God, of course, as we all will. But faith gives hope, or hope is faith that produces faith, hope, one of those. So yeah, that's something that like really I have to sit with a lot. Like, am I seeking him for what I need or for what he wants me to have? Because what he wants me to have is so much better than what I want for myself. So yeah, the one with the issue of blood, that's my girl, because she did something with that. She ate with that hem in his cloth. She ate with that. So yeah, hopefully that made sense. I hope it made sense. But that's what I wanted to share today. And yeah.